gonna show you how I did my PC. Just 30 units 18650 charger and discharger modules. Now what you can see now is an old computer case which I have laying around. This is back from 2004. It's an old Pentium 4 computer case. It's only rated 300 watts, but on the 5-volt rail it says it has 45 amps of power, which is plenty. That's all I need for my needs. Now I just found a little power on switch that I stuck on the case, and it's just cut off the green and black wires of the main power, and when you shorten it with the switch it just works. That's all you need. Now I have a computer fan that's maybe I'm going to use in the future if I have any problems with overheating. Now I'm planning on putting 30. At the moment I only have 10 just for the testing, and I ordered another 20 chargers, this TP456, very cheap chargers. You can get 10 for like $2, and these holders are again 10 for less than $3, so for about $5 you have 10 chargers, which is great, really. I found out that it's best to separate them in groups of 5. 5 chargers means you have 5 amps of power that's drawing from the power supply. Now all the red leads are supplying 5 volts, and I just decided to use them. Now for these chargers, they are very cheap too. They're only $3 each. They work great, but they have some flaws which I'm going to show you and explain. Now I'm just gonna start the setup, and this is the first time actually putting it. I hot glue all the modules and solder them first, and then hot glue to the particle boards and just attach them with the zip tie, which is very it's not the optimal solution really, but works. And for the time being, until I have all the rest of the hardware, I will be using this. Now what you see now is I made my own 18650 holder, just because I didn't have enough holders at hand and I wanted to test it out. Now this is an old plastic battery case from a Dell laptop back from 2003. Now I stuck metal nails with the flatheads, with the big flatheads on the both sides. I just heat them a little bit and drive them through the plastic, and then hot glue them. But first, of course, I soldered a couple of wires to them. Now you can see it's not the best solution. This is the first time I'm trying it, and it wiggles a little bit. It's not the best. Now I found out that turning the case horizontally helps the battery stay better, simply because the gravity makes them to fall into the holder better. Now at the same time, this setup now has been working for 5 days and it's working great for me. I've been testing about 200 batteries, maybe not quite, but 150 batteries for sure, and it's been working really well. Now another problem that I encountered was with these resistors, the dummy load, which the seller supplied. Now they show in the picture 7.5 ohm of resistor, which will be all right, not ideal, but still works best. And they end up sending me 75 ohms of resistor. Now this 75 ohm resistors only discharges the battery with around 40 to 45 milliamps of current, which is very agonizingly slow to discharge. Battery takes more than 10-12 hours. Now for my purpose and my needs, I don't need that. So it will be much better if it was about 4 ohms and higher wattage, let's say 10 or 20 watts of power resistors. They will be much better for my needs. Anyways, I'm going to be ordering these resistors. In the meantime, I don't have proper resistors at hand, so I improvised, and I'll show you what I did in just a minute. Now the good part about these discharges is that they are very cheap again, and they do really work and provide very true readings out of the capacity of the batteries. Now most people discharge their batteries with the only idea that they can have a reference number, which is for the most part all you need. But at the same time, it is a good idea to have a honest reading of the battery, just so you are aware of where this battery stands in its life. Now I hear people saying that when it's less than when it holds less than 50% of the original capacity, it's gone. Even 75% for some people is the critical minimum that they should keep a battery. Now I'm still testing this, so I can't speak from experience, but I'm happy with the results I have. I've been testing and playing with this for about 5 days now, and I want to show you what I did to solve the resistor problem. Now I just decided on using an old toaster oven, and I'll show you here. This is the heating element from the toaster oven, and the wire is a high resistor heating wire, which works best for my needs. I cut off pieces about 25-30 centimeters, which is 18-20 inches, and just stuck the two ends into the testers. Now with a little bit of experimentation, I end up with about 1 amp of discharging current, which is great for my needs. And again, this provides very true readings from the batteries, especially if the battery is bad. Discharging it with 1 amp will show up, and this battery will be just meant for recycling. I really like this setup now. It works well. Now you can see in production in my basement. Now this is the working unit. Again, it's going to be 30 units when it's fully finished. Now this is just working at the moment. These are all the tested batteries, separated in 4 categories, and this is the batteries that I have to go through, at least the first stage. I have plenty more to go through. Now thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful to you.